Welcome back to another episode of the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. Y'all, I am so excited about this episode of the podcast because today we're exploring the impact of PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, and the importance of raising awareness, particularly concerning its impact on Black women's physical and emotional well-being through the lens of the novel Good Morning Beautiful. Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get in this episode. But you already know what it is. Before we dive into this episode, before we get into this book and how it's raising awareness for PCOS, you know what time it is. Vibe with me, y'all. Welcome to the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. Y'all, so today's episode is calling Unveiling PCOS, The Journey of Cynthia in Good Morning Beautiful by Daines L. So I was reading this book yesterday. This is actually book number 2 in a series. The first book is called Trust. Really enjoyed it. So I was like, let's go with book number 2 in the series. And book number 2, Good Morning Beautiful, brought about a character called Cynthia. And guess what, y'all? I just found out yesterday while I was reading, Cynthia has PCOS. It is the first time that I'm seeing a diagnosis that I have in a book. And it has been an amazing experience to read. I'm not even done with the book, but I'm so excited about finishing it. But it was just the fact that the representation was there. And so this episode, we talking all things PCOS when it comes to seeing representation by Black authors. Come on, Daines L. With this good reading novel. All right, so Good Morning Beautiful is a heartwarming novel that explores themes of love, self-discovery, and resilience. All right, so the story kind of revolves around Cynthia, a strong and determined young woman who is living with PCOS, and it shows how this condition affects many women and can have a significant impact on their physical and emotional well-being. So, like, while we are going through this story, and Daines L. is really creating a beautiful story in this book. She is really going from relationships to emotional stress to how Cynthia is really trying to get a handle on her physical well-being. And it is, as well as her relationship with the church and belief and wanting to have a family one day. It has been amazing to see this journey of self-awareness and empowerment as she navigates through PCOS. And I then, like, after every chapter, I'm stopping and I'm reflecting and I'm talking about my own experiences. And I am just so grateful that Daines L. Was intentional about creating a character with PCOS to raise that awareness. And so some of, like, the big things was, one, diagnosis. Once I saw PCOS on the page, I was just like, what? We talking about it now? It's represented in a book. Like, it's not just on social media or on websites. Like, we're in a book now by a Black author. I was just like, oh my goodness. So hearing her being diagnosed with this condition and coming to terms with all of the challenges, and then how she's trying to wrap her mind around how she's going to navigate life when it comes to personal relationships, her relationship with her mom, with her friends. It's just like, come on with the realness. Come on with the raising awareness for what we're really going through and considering and thinking about and struggling with when it comes to PCOS. And when I say struggle, it also goes into her health struggle. All right, so she has various health struggles associated with PCOS, including irregular periods, weight gain, and hormonal imbalances. Number one sign for me was irregular periods. I had no idea that irregular periods were not normal. So when I was going through menstruation as a child, I would have my period some months and then I wouldn't have it the next month. There was one time when I was in college and I didn't have my period for 3 months, like a span of 3 months. And it was always told that it could have been stress or it could have been something that I ate that threw my period off. It was always this reason for why it was okay for me not to have a period. Had I known it was abnormal, I probably would have spoken to my doctors about it when I went to a doctor's appointment. But seeing as though I thought it was normal, I never said anything about it. So irregular periods is a big thing for Cynthia in this book. It was also a big thing for me. When it comes to weight gain, weight fluctuating, that's a sign too. So it's a part where I got really heavy, or I felt like I was really gaining weight, and it's like, why am I gaining so much weight? And then I could lose weight. And then sometimes when I saw that weight being lost, sometimes it's a good way, a healthy way of losing weight. And then there's sometimes it could be a high stressful relationship or working environment that causes you to really lose a lot of weight too. So it's not really good healthy weight management. All right. And so healthy weight management is definitely a struggle for those of us who are combating or trying to manage PCOS or deal with or navigate life with PCOS. And then those hormonal imbalances, from mood swings to trying to stay stable, emotionally regulated and stable, and not be so easily triggered. And then just having different things with your body going on, from like hot flashes, emotional eating. Like, these are things that are really sometimes can be driven from hormones, but also with us not being able to really manage our mental and emotional health to the best of our ability if we are not trying to find those healthy habit and lifestyle changes to get us rooted into some good balance. All right. Another big moment for Cynthia, our PCOS character in the book, Good Morning Beautiful, is relationships. Oh my goodness, Cynthia and these relationships, man. Her diagnosis is really showing an impact on how her romantic relationships are playing out in this book. And I'm not going to go too into them because I really want you all to get this book. I'll definitely drop the link in the description of this podcast episode so you can get this book yourself and start reading and support a Black female author, but also to get an idea of how life with PCOS can really be for those of us. So get some compassion. And then if you have PCOS, this too will allow you to feel more empowered to know that you're not alone and you're not going through this by yourself. But man, the relationships, the way she writes out and talks about the relationships and personal connections in this book, Daines L, you did it, girl. All right. And then treatments. PCOS, when it comes to treatment, she is definitely exploring different ways to manage her PCOS. And the one thing that I like that I've seen in the last few chapters that I was reading yesterday, because I haven't finished the book yet, was some of the lifestyle changes she was making. She started getting up and walking. Like, she started committing herself to walking in the evenings, and she didn't let that stop her from, like, she didn't let any other conflicts in her schedule stop her for showing up for herself to start walking. And walking has been a tremendous help for me to help me managing my hormones, helping me with healthy weight management, helping me with my mood. Mindful walking for me, mindful movement and intentional walking, all of that has been phenomenal for me. And it's my support animal, Spencer, that makes it even sweeter. It makes me not feel alone getting out there and walking regularly. When I am consistent with my walking, that healthy habit of walking every day and trying to get in at least 4 miles, I've seen the best results and outcomes on how I feel and how I navigate throughout the day and my energy with getting in at least 4 miles a day. Anything under 4 miles, I don't get as much out of it as I would if I did 4 miles or more. So her getting out there and walking, that healthy habit, was phenomenal. I also saw when she went on a date, she didn't go for her typical food that she usually went. She went with like I think it was a grilled chicken tender salad with no cheese and no crouton. And if you are someone with PCOS, you've heard that eliminating dairy, gluten, and soy could definitely be beneficial for you on your healing journey. When I omitted gluten and soy out of my dietary consumption, I don't like the word diet, but once I got that out of what I was eating, my food of choice, I got rid of dairy, I got rid of gluten, I got rid of soy. I limited my processed foods, and I'm no longer consuming meat products. I really started seeing my body shift and change. So I'm coming up on 1 year of being plant-based, and my period has been regular ever since. I think maybe in March, I might have seen 2 menstrual cycles potentially, but other than that, every single month I've been regular. I've had reduced pain since making those healthy habits and lifestyle changes. I have better energy. My moods are better. I don't have nearly as many hot flashes as I used to have. So I am realizing that the lifestyle changes and healthy habits that I'm making and adopting along the way, slowly but surely, and being consistent with them, I am feeling better and more empowered, and I'm seeing things in my life show up in a better form of love because I'm loving myself. And I can only imagine what it's going to mean in this book as I continue to read what love looks like for Cynthia, because she's prioritizing her self-care and she's being intentional about being intentional. So seeing her start to make these lifestyle changes like movement and what she's choosing to eat, I think it's only up from here, sis. Come on, PCOS, Sister Cynthia. But that's a good one for me. And then personal growth. All right, so Cynthia is going through significant personal growth as she learns to embrace her identity and find her inner strength despite the challenges of PCOS. Yo, to all my people with PCOS, it is definitely hard to remember who you are when you are diagnosed with PCOS, because PCOS really has a way of showing up in your life and causing a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. That can be depressing, that could be debilitating, that can lead to self-consciousness. When you think about like facial hair, for me, it was a facial hair led to self-consciousness. And I see that a lot for my other PCOS sisters out there. I'd like to say my PCOS posse when it comes to like facial hair, something we can't necessarily hide from society that people kind of address or look at that'll make us self-conscious. Another thing is their regular periods, not knowing is your period coming or if your period's constantly coming. That's a big thing for us because those could be surprises. Sometimes it's the cystic acne, acne on one side of your face. It's just PCOS can really show up and show out in different ways. And then creating that anxiety, that stress, not being able to manage stress. And then you get this anxiety. And then you think about PCOS when it comes to having children, or maybe not being able to have children, or that thought process that when I do want to have children, will it be easy for me to have children? Will I be able to see the future that I dream and aspire to? And Cynthia goes through that in the book. So many of us have that same thought process of, as a woman, we would love, some of us really want a family and we want that family naturally. And it comes to a point where sometimes we have to think about other options because our bodies just aren't working the way we would want them to work when it comes to PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome. And so her navigating the aspiration of wanting motherhood and trying to find that best partner to be able to live at that desire for her and with her and that have that dream, I think it's just been amazing to read about and see about and learn how she's navigating through those decision making and what the mindset looks like from her and her friend. Oh my goodness, Julene is a rider. Like reading that book is like, who wouldn't want a friend like Julene? And I think I saw that book number 3 goes into a little bit of Julene's story. So book 3 is already on the way, has already been ordered directly from the website of Daines L. Read. Again, I will drop that link in the description of this episode. But y'all, good morning, beautiful. With Cynthia's personal growth, her ups and downs with relationships, her unwavering spirit in the face of adversity, this has not only been a touching and inspiring story that allows for visibility and understanding for polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, but it's also promoting empathy and support for all of my PCOS posse. And just to be able to see this in writing, just to see the representation of PCOS in a character, y'all, has just been like heartwarming. Like I now just like go on Google and I'm just looking for more books that have endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, adenomyosis characters built into their stories, just because I want to be inspired by their journeys of strength. And that's one of the main reasons why I created this podcast, was so we could learn so much more about the journeys of strength of people who face endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, and fibroids. I wanted to hear more about their stories because being diagnosed with all four, I had no idea what the different experiences looked like, how people navigated their healing journeys, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. And I wanted to have a space where we can be empowered and really listen to where these diagnoses are visible and they're vocal in a space created just for them. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Empowered Place, Empowered Lives podcast. Again, this is all about Good Morning Beautiful, where we have the main character, Cynthia, have PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome. So, again, if you're not already following on all social media platforms, please check all of the links in the description of this video. If you're looking for a healthy habits and lifestyle coach, click the link in this video and let's get that process started today. Let's start exploring different changes and ways that you can adopt today to lead you to a vibrant lifestyle tomorrow, as well as if you need any free guides for making alternative plant-based switches so you can have an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, you can get a free guide on the link in the description of this video as well. And to all of my PCOS posse, my endo conquerors, my adenomyosis thrivers, and my fibroid shrinksters, I have a comprehensive healing journey guide that's also in the description of this video. That's free for you as well. So I just hope that you're empowered to continue to live a vibrant life, but just know that there's hope. All right, there's hope. And I just appreciate y'all for vibing with me. Until next time, be well, love and light.